my warm spray. I'm going to just start this episode by laughing my ass off because I have a feeling that I'm going to be laughing my ass off on another edition of Welcome to the show. Welcome to another edition of 21st Century Rocker Mom podcast. I'm back at it with you this week because I was not back at it. I was not back at it at all. The week before last, there was no sex in the champagne room. There was no sex in fucking any of the rooms. Mom, I'm just gonna apologize now for this fucking episode.
She's not listening.
Yes, she is.
She's not gonna listen.
I fucking told her on the phone that this episode, my next episode, would be all about sex. Because I spoke with her on the telephone.
Well, then why would she listen?
Because she's my mom.
I don't think she needs tips.
Maybe she does. And who else would I have joining me? Because I haven't had you joining me. I haven't had you join me for a bit because you've been away. And then between travel and like quarantining and testing and all the shit with the COVID and everything. Not like you got COVID or anything, like I say, but like you were traveling, obviously, for work and doing a few TV shows and things and projects. But so obviously, like, so I say, women of a certain age are like, since you were doing shows about toys, Did
you want to introduce me so people know who I am?
I guess they might know by now. It's not Robert Goulet. It's a Robert.
Oh, Jingle bells, jingle bells.
It's you. It's Rob McCallum. That's who it is.
Sir Robert of McCallum.
It is. If anyone listens to the podcast, obviously regularly, they're gonna know that it's you. And like again, like you were away. So like I say, between you being away and all the time spent like away between testing and like quarantining and all the shit and making all the shows and everything, there was no sex, like I say, in the champagne room or any room. So I decided to talk about sex because
is that what you refer to our bedroom as? The champagne room?
Well, we don't drink. So
champagne lounge.
It's a super swinging sex pad, I guess I would say. Sorry, Mom. Fuck.
My goodness. I'm blushing. It's my room and I'm blushing. It's
your room and you're blushing?
Yes.
Oh, fuck, man. Like, well, since you went on, like, you were on a toy hunt, I will say that I've had many conversations with many people about women of a certain age, especially, like, I'll talk to girls my age, and we're, like, the sexual Optimus Prime, because we're at our prime. Like, I'm, like, 38 right now.
I'm already hiding my eyes because you're relating sex to toys and I can't handle it.
Sex to toys like sex toys?
It's like Seximus Prime or whatever you said.
I said Optimus Prime. It's just a sexual Optimus Prime.
Sexual primal.
It's when women get to a certain age, and I was talking to my girlfriend about this, who's around my age, and she just said, when women get to a certain age, I said, I feel like somebody lit my fucking thighs on fire. I feel like I'm walking around when a guy has a boner, they call it a hard-on. When the girl has like a girl boner, I guess they call it a.
God, I can't believe I'm doing this. I can't believe I'm here. What's so funny, lady?
It's called a wide-on. So I'm walking. I said, fuck, I don't know what's wrong with me. I said, I think medically something is wrong with me.
How can it be so wrong when it feels so right?
I know, right? If it feels good, do it, right? So it's like, I think I'm some kind of like weird nymphomaniac, and I've got like a problem. So of course I'm like talking to my girlfriends about this, because who do I talk to? Who else would I talk to about this, right? And I mean, obviously you talk to doctors about this, and they're like, you're normal, whatever. But then talking to my girlfriend, she's like, wait, how old are you again? And I was like, oh, I'm 38. And she's like, oh. Like, and she just laughed like her ass off. And I was like, why? Because she's been here. She's been 38, because she's only a few years older than me. And she was just like, oh, poor Rob. She's like, or not. She's like, he must be so tired. I was like, don't worry. He is. Because women in their prime just wanted all the time, I guess. There was even a fucking movie about it. And I don't know if you ever saw it. I love Meryl Streep. So I'll watch the shit out of any Meryl Streep movie. There was a movie with Meryl Streep. It had Uma Thurman in it. And Meryl Streep played either a psychiatrist or a psychologist. A mother of a son who was like 21 or something. And she had a female patient who was like in her late 30s to early 40s in the woman's like sexual prime time. And
you say prime time once more, I might pee.
Don't pee.
It's my prime time.
It's time to pee. And it's time to piss your pants. Well, so she's counseling this woman. This woman's telling her all about this relationship that she's having with this younger man. And she's like, and it's great because he's a lot younger and he's got a really great sex drive because he's like 20 or whatever he is. And this therapist is listening to her and everything like this. And I mean, spoiler alert, it turns out that it ends up being like Meryl Streep's fucking son. So this woman that she's counseling and hearing all these like crazy sex stories about, because this woman's in her sexual prime, she's banging this, 20-year-old guy who's got the, probably got the energy of, a million people, like, and she finds out it's her son. So the movie's fucking hysterical, but it examines women like in their prime. So I mean, this is like an example of it. It's just hysterical. So a lot of people don't talk about sex because it's like one of those. You grew up like you went to Catholic school.
I love how you made that seamless transition. Like a lot of people don't talk about sex. Like you
went to Catholic school.
Grew up going to Catholic school.
Well, like it wasn't really like a sexy, like it wasn't time to talk about sex. Like you're squirming right now, like squirming.
Yeah. So,
like, what was your first like sex talk? Was it in school?
I think so.
Like, was it like an educational thing? Or did you find like a book or like a?
No, it was in school, but I remember like it was like grade 5, so it would have been I would have been turning 11,
mm-hmm.
and I remember like in grade 4 hearing that the grade 5s were learning about this thing called sex, which we didn't know about.
But it's in the curriculum.
In grade 4, like we didn't know what it really was. Like we had heard whispers at recess about what sex was, and we knew it was going to be like diagrams and stuff in the health book.
Oh yeah.
And I remember like day 1 getting the textbooks and like all of us like flipping through looking for the like diagrams and stuff. And it's like, well, I think I got that thing that's outlined, but what is this thing over here that looks like somebody with their legs close together and like doing a hulking bicep? Why is that in like the girl's crotch?
I'm like, that's a uterus, motherfucker. That's what's part of it. Like, get some fallopian tubes, get some ovaries over there.
Looks like somebody holding like 2 basketballs and like hunkered down.
It's the craziest looking thing. I mean, it's a crazy way to initiate kids into sexual education with all these pictures that they don't fucking understand of it was all like
cartoon like diagrams. There was like no like actual photography.
Oh fuck. I had like initiation into sex like way earlier than like school. So I kind of already knew what to expect from class. Like our health nurse was like, she was off the wall. She brought in like she brought in felt dolls and like put them up on the board and had their like private parts. And we had to like put them on. It was like pin the tail on the donkey, but it was like pin the penis on the fucking dummy. But you went to Catholic school, right? I went to public school.
Yeah.
I remember her being like, whoop, my penis rolled away on me, and being like, like the whole class pissing themselves. Like my initiation to sex was a lot earlier.
We certainly didn't have puppets or felt.
Oh my God. Well,
and it was the same teacher for us that taught all our other subjects.
Fuck.
We only had 2 like rotating teachers. It was music usually and French. Every other subject was taught by the same person.
Well, this teacher definitely looked at French. She was only a sex education teacher. She was
my goodness,
public health nurse. So she tells us about like safe to have sex. She wear like condom earrings. Like we were in grade 5. I'm like, why do I need to know what the fuck a condom is right now?
I don't think I saw a condom until high school. Sometime in high school.
I saw condoms in public school for sure.
My goodness. What kind of school did you go to?
Public school. Anyways.
Jesus.
Anyways, but
Lucifer B. Satan public school?
Stop. Like I will say, my initiation to sex was earlier because I had a neighbor that had like a foul fucking mouth. Like, oh my God, like worse than mine. And he told me that if your parents if your parents kissed, that they'd have puppies. So that was my like first thing. So of course I asked about it. And so of course, like I asked my dad, like of all people, and like he was really like gentle about it. He was like, no, like that's not true. Like if people kiss, like they don't have puppies. He was just like very gentle about like telling me about it. Like, what do you remember what your first like sex talk was out of school? Like,
Yeah. I'm like nervous all over again, as if I'm that 12-year-old boy, like thinking about, like I'm instantly transported to it. It was a very brief discussion at the kitchen table with my grandparents. And I think it was very much along the lines of, well, you know what to do and how to be safe. I'm sure you've got your head about you with all that stuff, right? Like
you're going to be smart about it, right?
It was like an assumptive close, like you know what the right thing to do is. And it's like, you can't say no.
Abstinence.
Because like as a 12-year-old...
It's abstinence.
As a 12-year-old boy, if you say no, that just invites further discussion. And
you don't want to
every child, I think, wants to get out of that discussion as quick as possible.
Except for me.
That doesn't surprise me.
I never gave a shit. I found, and it wasn't at my house. It was at it was at somebody else's house, and it was a Joy of Sex book. And I'll tell you, that book has been a fucking evolution of pubic hair from when it started to now. Have you ever seen a Joy of Sex book?
No.
You ever remember, like, didn't you ever have like a friend whose like parents had it under their bed? Because like that's what I had.
The closest I got, and it's just it's really strange and awkward. And I think I told you about this, was in like the entertainment unit. You remember entertainment units where the TV would go in one section, then you'd have like cupboards and then like other cupboards underneath.
Put your movies in there.
Yeah, and your stereo equipment would go in there, and underneath you'd put like
there's a record player and
Well, on the one side you open the door and there was like board games in there. There'd be like Sorry and Trouble and Snakes and Ladders, and then sexual trivia. Like a very 1970s, early 80s sexual trivia with the outline of like the girl that you would see like on Truckers Mud Flaps.
Oh, like with the boobs and her legs up in the air, like the long hair in the
background. I think that was like the logo, and it was like, you know, it was like iridescent and shimmery.
Sexy.
I was just like, I didn't even want to open it because I didn't understand how it got here, and then I thought, wait, my grandparents must know about this sex thing. I don't want to.
What is this?
I'm good.
Fucking weird sticky board game. I don't want this.
I'm good. I just can't imagine adults sitting around playing sexual trivia. You know, like, that's so weird. Like even right now, like,
I do remember one time, like this is true story. Like in my like 20s, early 20s, probably like 20, 21. I remember sitting around and getting like totally loaded drunk with a group of friends and watching like porn together. And there was like, I'm talking like there was a lot of us there. There was like 12 of us. It was like fucking weird. And it was like all couples, and we were just all kind of just sitting there like nothing weird happened. We all just like watched it. And it was like weird porn too. It was like the Osbournes. It was like Ozzy Osbourne and his family, but not as the Osbournes. It was the Osbournes. And it was fucking horrible. Like my life, my introductions to sex and sexy things have been hilarious. That's why I think I have such like an open, fluid attitude about it, and it doesn't make me nervous, and it doesn't really bother me. I mean, sometimes it does. If somebody like flat out fucking harasses me, I'm gonna crack a ice cold pop. It's a Coca-Cola classic. It's a small one. Oh yeah.
What's funny is that same grade 5 year that we had all the health books and the diagrams and all that. Two things happened that year that were all tied to sex. One, the discovery of the porn mags in the forest, which I've told you about.
Oh my God, this story is amazeballs.
I think we've talked about it on your show. The short version is my friends and I found a stack of Hustler magazines in the forest behind the school, the elementary school I went to.
And Hustler's so nasty too.
It's like the worst. It is like, that's like the A+ extreme. Like there's no consideration for the eyes, or, you know, there's nothing left to the imagination with Hustler. It's like you can see the fallopian tubes in a Hustler magazine at that point. And there was like 4 of us that found like the stack of like 15 Hustlers, and they were buried in the woods. Like literally buried, and we were just
buried porn treasure.
Like they were just in a bag, like in a dug hole that had been like uncovered. It's like you could make a movie about this kind of thing.
Unearthed the porn.
And I remember, like, we all kind of took like a few magazines home because there's so many, We didn't like hide them. Well, I don't know. Maybe the other guys hid them under the mattress and stuff. I just hid mine like somewhere like in the garage and then in the basement and stuff like that. But I remember
like
looking.
spread them out. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't like spread them out in the house. I just remember.
Off in the garage.
No,
and
this
in
is
the
before
basement.
this is before I even knew what masturbation was.
Hilarious.
Like I didn't know I didn't even know what to do with the magazine. I just thought these are different pictures, and boy, this is really strange to look at. And is this really what like girls look like without clothes? Like this is wild. Like,
some do.
It was like alluring, but like confusing at the same time. It was such a strange.
Young, right? Yeah, I guess at a young age.
It was just such a strange thing to look at something that like you're viscerally drawn to. But like have no mental connection, like why you are, what it means.
Yeah, because you're pretty puzzled at that point, like at that age.
It could have been like a train wreck or like a car accident.
I say it could have been something really
and it's like,
boring.
whoa, I can't look away from this. Like this is crazy.
Like, what?
But why do I have to look at this? It was literally the same thing.
I know.
That's the first thing that happened, and I had to confront my grandpa about that. My grandma didn't want to talk to me, so I had to confront my grandpa.
I can imagine.
Awkward. Very awkward.
Totally.
The second thing that happened the same year, and I don't know why grade 5 was the sexy year introduction type thing.
That's when you learn about it in the syllabus.
No,
like
but all these
school.
things that happened like coincidentally in my life.
Well, you were more aware of sex, probably. Now
Well,
sex
no,
was playing
but
more of an important role.
I mean, maybe it's like you're looking for the number pi, and there it is, or the number 23. But
you're looking for the number sex.
We got like a cheater satellite, you know?
Oh, no.
And the Playboy channel was on it.
Oh, God.
And I knew how to hook up the VCR.
Of course you did.
But I didn't have any blank tapes, so I took like a grade 2 dance recital and taped over it with like 2 hours of the Playboy channel. Like at night, like I went to bed last.
You went to sleep, yeah.
I went to sleep last while my grandparents were sleeping upstairs.
Press record.
Put the tape in record, knowing that it would run out, but I'd get 2 hours of Playboy channel.
Oh yeah, of like the nastiest stuff because it's late.
Well, I don't know. I just put it in there because I couldn't put it in while they were downstairs watching TV because you couldn't flip the channels.
Well, no shit.
It wasn't that kind of VCR.
You're gonna get caught.
And so I remember waking up early, running downstairs, getting the tape out, and putting the tape up in my bedroom somewhere.
Oh my God.
Waiting until I could like have the TV to myself like the next night to check out what I had recorded. And there was like nothing there. There was weird like adult commercials, but like there was nothing like
the Playboy channel was pretty.
There was nothing sexy. It was super tame.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty soft. It's not like
it's like equivalent to if you remember like the City TV like Baby Blue
2 movies.
Yeah.
Or like the Red Shoe Diaries with like Antonio Banderas or like David Duchovny.
It was pretty tame. I think there was like one soap opera where there was like a topless like maid or something.
Yeah, like there was like
boobs
like, out or something.
Oh, I can't believe that's all.
Like you probably saw more action with, and I'm going to say this because anyone from our age will know what this is. You probably saw more action with like squiggly porn.
Well, we called it scrambles.
Scramble porn.
Yeah.
Well, I called it squiggly porn. My girlfriends would come over and we'd have a sleepover. We'd be over at their house. Some of my girlfriends, like parents, like legit had porn and like we watched it like young, like way too young to watch porn. But like we'd be like flipping through the channels on the old tick, 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 tick.
Oh, there's a boob.
I'm like, well, we wouldn't really be looking for boobs, but
well, that's like what kind of jumps out to boys.
Some of my girlfriends would be looking for boobs, but I was certainly not. But at the time, with anything, I was like, what the. I'm like, I don't even know what the hell's going on. I remember like one of my friends being like, oh my God, I think my parents had that for dinner. I'm like, oh fuck. I hope they fucking didn't.
I think at one point, one of my friends like taped scrambles.
Are you shitting me?
No, I'm pretty sure he did. And I mean, I don't know what you do as a 13-year-old boy. You can't understand your emotions. I mean, it's prime time for boys when you're 13 up to you're 18, except for you don't have the mental fortitude or like intelligence to go along with it. You can't understand it at all. But I remember he recorded because he's like, you might not be able to see much. And he sounded like Milhouse, and he still does in my head. He's like, you might not be able to see much, but you can hear it all. And like now thinking back, I'm like, oh, probably like the best like archival erotic podcast you could ever imagine.
Hilarious audio, like hilarious.
It's like if you just shut your eyes and listen, you can like picture the boobs or whatever you're into.
And he's like, just like put it, make it like a mental like mind story and just like do it like that.
But you know what? It's funny though, because when I did see like an actual like produced porn movie.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, this is a lot like Looney Tunes. It's like the same shots in the backgrounds over and over again. I'm like, this is exactly like animation. I'm like, I get why people like this.
It's people get drawn into things like this. They get drawn into that. That's why there's like porn addicts and things like that. But squiggly porn, that was just like a I think that was just something kids
It's
our
a rite of
age
passage.
had access to.
Now
so
it's way different. Like now you can like Google image anything.
now I was like, now they Google image like penis and who knows what it is.
How would you know that?
They get some GIF. I don't know. I'm just saying.
What, have you been Google imaging penises?
Bouquets of penises. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I wonder if there is such a thing. I'm gonna Google that. A dick bouquet. I'll tell you. Canadian women are the horniest. This is what I hear. People keep telling me that.
Where does this come from? I feel like every country would lay claim to that.
No. I feel like Canadian
what
women
international like suave Casanova have you been talking to? This is
everyone tells me this.
Everyone?
People in general tell me that just like Canadian women are more horny, they're more laid back, they're more into sex. American women are more uptight. I am telling you what I hear on the street, okay?
On the sex street.
Through the grapevine.
Ooh la la, I hear.
The Canadian women are horny. Maybe it's because it gets colder up here and we want to like snuggle more and there's more time. It's not like.
But you could make the argument maybe because like in like.
It's hot.
I don't know. You gotta take your clothes off in Hawaii. Yeah.
I want to take my clothes off and get under the covers when it's cold outside. Maybe.
Maybe it's cold outside.
It's whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm always game. I think there's something about Canadian.
Always game.
I'm always game.
Oh my goodness.
Game on. It's like
I'm
hockey.
still blushing.
Are you still blushing?
Yes.
Holy eggplants. Like, how are you still blushing? I think it's just talking about...
When did the eggplant thing start?
I don't know. Someone put an emoji like up on the internet and like now it means a dick. Now it means
You know
a dick.
who always uses that?
Oh, yeah. I do. One of my good friends always uses that, and I love it. It's so funny because it makes me laugh so fucking hard.
It's like every conversation she has. It's like, eggplant.
There's an eggplant, and I love seeing it. I'm like, I'm so happy to see that eggplant right there. I'm always happy to see an eggplant. A walking, talking, cosmopolitan fucking magazine, 50 ways to please him tonight. I remember the transition for me reading as a kid, younger woman, 17 magazine, and being like, this is how you like tongue kiss a boy. Put your tongue in his mouth and like massage his tongue with your tongue. Like, I mean, like hilarious. To my like,
I'm so sheltered.
To like my switch to cosmopolitan. It was like 50 ways to please him tonight. And it's like, during deep pelvic thrusting, make sure he inserts his finger deep into your anus. I'm like, whoa, things just switched gears, cosmopolitan.
Brown-eyed girl.
I'm at 50 ways to please him tonight. I'm not going to, but how about not letting him put his finger up my ass? If that's your thing, cool. But how is it going to please him if he's going to put his finger up my ass? I don't know. It was not my thing for Cosmo, but I mean, they did have lots of good tips and tricks.
There's really no middle ground, is there, for like young readers? You go from like how to kiss a boy or impress him on a first date to how to get him to come back to bed.
How to get him to come back to bed?
Because that's what it sounds like. Is like how to please him tonight.
Like tonight.
Not just like not how to please him.
It's like 50 different things to do. I don't even remember what they were, but like some of them, like now thinking back, I'm like, I know they were like funny. Like
what's funny is there's like I can't recall any like boy equivalent magazines.
What about Maxim and like and all those magazines?
Well, those didn't come out until like my last year of high school.
Okay, so like those kind of like those.
And I really didn't understand them because I thought it was just like, okay, it's like another kind of like Sports Illustrated, the swimsuit edition. Like I still don't understand what Maxim is.
They have some like sex stuff in them and like tips and stuff for men. But I mean, like, just if you want tips, just fucking experiment. Like with your partner, or if you don't have a partner, experiment with yourself.
I'm gonna bring a journal next time we go to the champagne room or whatever you call it.
It's not gonna be in very long.
Here are the things that I want to experiment with you tonight. You become my science project.
You love. Speaking of sex, you love Sex in the City.
I do love that show.
You do love that show. I'm like,
you're so surprised.
That comes up with sex. No, I'm not surprised. When you told me though, you're like, you went to go see it. Fucking opening day.
The movies, yeah.
The movie.
Both of them.
By yourself.
Both movies. Opening day.
Fucking opening day.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. in the morning. I wanted to stand up and like give you an opening round of
applause. I was the only guy in the theater.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Really?
I went to see Mamma Mia opening day too.
Like, I fucking love Mamma Mia too.
You know.
Fuck that.
But I like ABBA, right?
Who does? If you don't like ABBA, there's something fucking wrong with you. Like, there's something wrong with you. But like, Sex in the City was a great like is a great show. It's well written. It's well executed. It's an excellent show. Who is your favorite character on Sex and the City?
Like of all time, like any
mine's
character?
not really Carrie Bradshaw. I did that on my TikTok to be silly and make a horse face. If anyone saw that on my TikTok, I was like, that my favorite Sex and the City character was Carrie Bradshaw.
Who's that guy? Hot dog?
Hot dog?
Burger.
Oh.
No, Burger's okay. Mr. Big's cool. Smith is cool.
Yeah, I like Smith.
Smith was supposed to be He-Man too for a while. He was attached to start as He-Man.
Me?
No?
Really?
Yeah. Jason, I forget his name.
I liked Aiden. He was like my favorite.
He's the hippie one. That's why you like him.
Fuck.
You know it's
whatever.
true. You know it's totally true.
But I like Samantha. I like that attitude. I like her attitude. She just doesn't give a fuck at all. Not that she's like that she's really promiscuous or anything like that. She just doesn't make any apologies for anything. And she's just high powered. She's cutthroat. She's got a high-powered job.
I like all the ladies for different reasons.
Yeah.
Very much so. I like that Charlotte is that kind of cute girl next door.
Girl next door, yeah, totally.
But I also like how Miranda's like the working single mom professional, even though Steve's kind of in and around. Carrie Bradshaw's that creative entrepreneur, self-spirit. Samantha's that boss bitch. She's just cool.
Yeah, she is cool. She is a boss fucking ass
But
bitch.
she does what she wants, and she's older than the other three, but she doesn't let that dictate her path in life.
Yeah, she doesn't let it ageism or anything like that. So slow her down.
I like Trey.
Trey's cool. Yeah, absolutely. No,
and Harry.
Harry's so endearing. I love him. Aiden's my absolute favorite of all the especially all the men that Carrie's been with.
Burger's cool until he breaks up with Carrie with a Post-it note.
That's fucking ridiculous.
That's weak.
That's beyond weak. That's like breaking up with someone over the phone through your friend. That's go fuck off. That totally happened to me before when I was young.
Big is cool though. Big is classic.
Yeah, he is classically handsome. He's a classic gentleman. He's
yeah.
He opens the door for the ladies. He pays for things. He's it's very what the archetypal, very movie, old school
chivalry, man. It's chivalry.
Courtly love sort of idea of what it was back then, what it was supposed to be.
That could be your Sex in the City pen name, Courtly Love.
Courtly Love.
Get it? Courtney Love, but Courtly Love.
That'd be ridiculous. I just think sexuality needs to be celebrated a little bit more, and people are really,
That was one of the first mainstream shows that I can think of, though, that really put sex in the forefront.
It was
right in the title, but it wasn't the first TV show that I saw that was all about sex.
No, but look at Desperate Housewives.
How about Sex with Sue?
Oh my God, the Sunday night sex show with Sue Johansson.
Again, cringeworthy as a boy.
Pleasure chest.
Oh my God! The pleasure chest.
Let's just get out the pleasure chest. What, you like watching a 7-year-old lady put anal beads up a fake ass?
Oh my God.
Do you?
It was the best and simultaneously the most embarrassing, cringeworthy thing. Because remember, I'm raised by my grandparents, so it was essentially Ninnle there, the Sunday night sex show with Ninnle's pleasure chest. Oh my God.
Their Sue's pleasure chest was the pleasure
I could never
best.
It was always at 7 or 8 o'clock.
So people need to know the context of the show.
But then they would repeat at 10, and that's when I catch it.
This was a show that was on it. It was on a learning channel, in essence, and it was a show about sexual education, and people would call in. Some of them totally pranky, and ask this woman who's a sexpert, a sex therapist, and a sex expert, all these sex questions. And she had this thing called the pleasure chest that she'd pull different sex toys out of: butt plugs, anal beads, dildos, curved dildos, vibrators.
I just remember
handcuffs.
One episode she had 3 or 4 different dildos, and she went through the pros and cons of them, and what made it good but also still cringeworthy is she never used colloquial terms like dick or I don't know, whatever you want. She'd always use the medical term to make it educational.
Really sterile.
It's you put this against the vulva, and then you can feel this when you insert it between your labia, and it's whoa,
Okay, but would you want her using the porno tongue terms?
Yes. It would be easier to digest.
Old lady to be I want you to slap your cock right on the, like, seriously, would you? I would die. Like, it was
Thinking about it now, it's funny, but back then it would have been easier to digest because it would have been like recess, you know?
You were like laughing.
No, it'd be like, okay, she's talking about the cock. Like, let her talk about the cock.
Imagine that much like geriatric profanity, especially attached to sex. I don't think that I could handle it personally.
Oh, you know.
Whatever floats your boat. I guess if you want old ladies talking about the cock.
I can't handle the medical
Rob
terms.
Wants to hear. Oh, I don't know about you sometimes.
The medical terms were just a little like, I don't know. Like it made it hard to digest. Like it.
Oh, you just made that hard for me to digest. Oh, I'm good. That's good. No, I didn't
say I wanted like porno discussion. Those are your words, not mine.
You want to talk about porno discussion? I got this CD once, and I think my uncle still has it because he borrowed it from me. I was on tour with Kitty, and we were playing this thing called the World Series of Metal. It wasn't. I'm like, well, it sounds like baseball. It sounds fun. It was in Cleveland, but I mean, it sounded like it was baseball. But they had like a CD booth when you were buying CDs, and you could buy this CD, and it was called like Sex Around the World or something like that.
What?
And it was all like orgasms in different accents. And
was it like all English but just different accents, or was it like different languages?
It was like different languages and like accents. It was ridiculous. Like in German, it was like, oh yeah, das ist gut, yeah. It was like one of the guys from Rammstein, like going crazy. Like it was fucking like when I think back on it now, like some of the racial stereotypes on it were absolutely like horrible.
Oh, you think it was like not legit? Like they didn't
actually? I don't think it was legit. No.
Oh.
Like you got to remember, this is like 1997.
Okay, I don't know if they were like doing like, you know,
people didn't think in the terms that we think now. They weren't like, that's racist. Like I think back to it now.
I'm trying to think about why you would make a CD that said it was going to be this thing and then just to fake it, because like to have the real.
Because they were like two for $5.
Like Zimbabwe orgasm versus the Irish orgasm. That would have been an interesting contrast, like a documentary, archival orgasm.
Like even like the Irish orgasm was like a leprechaun. Like that's how bad like the stereotype was.
That's funny.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm after me Lucky Charms.
Yeah, like, oh God, I'm trying to think of the other one. Oh, like one was just like, yeah, like the German was like super in German and it sounded like angry. You know what I mean? Like it just like, you know, it was just... You know what I mean? It just...
An angry orgasm.
It just...
Oh my God. Please like, don't punch me the next time that happens for us. The white person
orgasm was like the put a finger down, the white person edition. Put a finger down if you've ever came. I
just came.
I just came. I'm coming.
Sarah Marshall.
I came.
So good.
Yes. Oh, I can't watch fucking Sarah Marshall. It's the only movie that has to do with sex that fucking embarrasses the shit out of me. It's Jason Segel and his giant wiener and his pasty white body slapping it against his legs.
Have I got a surprise for you?
Oh, fuck. And it's so awkward because he's getting broke up with buck ass naked.
Why don't you go put some clothes on? No, because then I'll remember that those are the clothes you broke up with me in. Like,
how much more vulnerable could you possibly be?
So good.
Getting broken up with no fucking clothes on. It's fucking horrible. Like, I'll tell you, it's just...
Is that like as bad as the Larry David scene that you couldn't watch?
Oh, in Curb Your Enthusiasm, where he's trying to tell that girl how to insert a tampon. Okay, dude, I've been there. Like, okay, like, the reason I can't watch that scene... Do you want to know why? The reason I can't watch that scene is I had a girlfriend when we were like teenagers who got a tampon stuck in her vagina.
I love how you emphasize vagina like it would be like somewhere else.
Well, she didn't get it stuck in her ass. She's standing outside my bathroom door at my mom's house on Paddock Green Crescent, where I grew up in Westmount. And she's like, Tanya, she's like, come to the bathroom door. I'm like, what? She's like, this tampon's stuck in there. I'm like, maybe it's stuck in there. You got a string. Just pull it out. She's like, I can't. She's like, can you come in and pull it out? I'm like, fuck no.
Oh my God.
I'm like, fuck no, I cannot.
I don't even know how the function of any of that works, and I'm cringing already. I don't know the string, the applicator, the tube. Like, I got an education from that episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I can't watch it because she was like asking me.
Did you open the door and help her?
No, I did not. I fucking did not. I gave her step-by-step instructions, literally outside the door, like Larry David, of how to get this tampon out. Because I'm like, if
did it work?
Yep, she got it out. But like, it was so fucking uncomfortable.
What happened when you saw each other?
Huh? Well, we were still friends,
was
obviously.
Like, oh wait, we're going to speak of this again?
We just didn't talk about it after that. And I'm just like glad I didn't go in. Like, because she's like, well, just come in here and just like, literally, I'm like...
Like, okay. Looking through the portcullis to try to find it.
I had to tell her, I'm like, you need to relax your body. Imagine a flower closing. Like, just chill. Like, just chill your vagina out. Like, just
chill your vagina.
Cool out your cooter. Just cool it off.
Oh my God. There's so many possible episode titles for this one.
You want to talk about cool out your cooter?
Cool out your cooter.
Let me tell you about this. We're talking about like things that like turn you on and different things. I watched a documentary while I was doing research about women who were having multiple orgasms, or which are known in the medical community as women that are super orgasmic. So mostly women during sex have an orgasm once if they're lucky. But, however, McGill in Canada,
Montreal.
Yes, in Montreal in Canada, did a study on super orgasmic or multi-orgasmic women. These are women that have multiple orgasms. So these seem like a fucking unicorn, obviously, but obviously they're not. It's doable. And they are doable, and they're doing all kinds of research on them. So all these women are wired differently. Some are capable of having this like never-ending orgasm. So the way they describe it in this documentary is some women say that it's like a chapter book. It's like they open chapter 1 and then they close it, then chapter 2 starts, and then chapter 3, and then chapter 4. And the other women say that it's just like rolling waves of orgasms that never stop. So they set these women up in a controlled experiment and put an electroencephalogram on their brains, the EEG, and to see, because the brain fires in 30 reasons, or not reasons, sorry, you're going to edit that out. The brain fires in 30 regions in order to produce an orgasm. It just goes like brain to vagina to clitoris. Then that starts some lubrication. Now you're laughing, eh?
I'm laughing because it's like a roadmap. It's like bing,
bing,
bing, bing.
Nerve muscle tension builds up, release, pleasurable feelings. You know, orgasm.
I'm just thinking, like the Never-Ending Story theme song. It's the never-ending orgasm.
But like these women, like they're like just blowing their brains out. Like I don't understand about. Here's the one thing I don't understand.
All in the name of science.
It's great. I would do it in the name of science. Go for it. Let's.
You want to do it in the name of science? Is that what you're saying?
We're always doing it in the name of science. We did a lot of research for this episode.
We did not call it a research session.
Yeah. I was like, I want to go do some research. But like, this is the thing that I don't understand with all these multi-orgasmic women and everything like that. They found that these women are, and I said this about Canadian women too, they're less inhibited. So they're more reluctant to be uptight about sex, so they're more comfortable with their partner. That builds more sexual arousal, and then they're able to build to and get to that endpoint quicker, I think.
Oh, sorry, I was confused. You said less reluctant, so they're more open about sex.
Exactly. They're less reluctant to be like have a stick up their ass about sex. They're more willing to try things. They're more willing to be, sexuality is a little bit more fluid for them. They're a little bit more comfortable maybe with their body or with their partner's body or with their relationship or whatever it is. They've got their engine started a little sooner. So maybe they
got a little pregame going on.
Yeah. So yeah. And these women are generally have a head start in the orgasm game because the way their brains are wired. Thank you, brain. And I know I have this.
Now your listeners do too.
Oh, there are lots of times. I don't know if that's me or you or both, or it's that combination.
I don't know what to say right now because I'm like dying.
What, of embarrassment?
Yes.
Don't die. But I'm saying 450 studies of women in Canada of sexual response. Found that these women are super orgasmic. Wait, now you got 451 there, fucking McGill University. Fucking suck me beautiful.
Question for you.
Give it to me.
People have different preferences.
Give it to me.
People have different preferences for what happens when the sexual experience takes place with their partner. Okay. Some people are just like, let's missionary it, call it a day. Some people want to bring out the hood and canes and handcuffs and beat the crap out of each other.
Be the Grim Reaper.
Be the Grim Reaper,
Sure.
whatever it is. Do you think there's a danger of escalation, like the way that adrenaline junkies like have to constantly push the high, like that movie Crash?
I think there's danger if you don't have like a safe word. Because...
No, but you know what I mean? Like the only way I could get off is if we get in a car crash and like screw on the side of the road, like that Cronenberg film Crash.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like you have to take it to such a certain point because you can't get off anymore in a what people would deem like a regular traditional fashion. You got to like really like no kink shaming, motherfuckers. Don't kink shame. Like
yeah,
you got to get into some weird shit to get off. I think there is a threshold where it becomes like dangerous. Absolutely. I think absolutely anything can be like that. And I mean,
I think partner has a lot to do with it though.
Absolutely.
I think some partners like you want them to be in a car crash so that
you need to be in a car crash so I can fuck you.
So I can feel better.
Because I would never fuck you if you weren't in a car crash. But I'd totally fuck your dead body. No, I'd totally fuck your dead body. No, I'm just kidding.
What?
No, I'm joking.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be taxidermy when I pass.
Crash test dummy.
And you'll know what part will be left intact.
I'm just joking. But like, really, I'm just kidding. I
know you're kidding.
I'm kidding. I'm glad you didn't get in a car crash, thank God, being away and everything. Because being away, you got to keep those home fires burning.
Yes.
And sex is more about not just sex. Like, it's not just sex and, like, intercourse.
Well, not just when I was away, too.
No, generally speaking.
When we were dating, we weren't even in the same city when we started.
When we were dating, we weren't even in the same country when we started dating.
True. Time zone.
No, we weren't even we were 3 hours difference with each other, and you know what I mean? Like, you have to keep things kind of
roasty.
It's definitely roasty.
Keep those flames going, baby.
Yeah, you gotta keep them going. But like,
I would wake up at 4 a.m. in Las Vegas time when I was on my own in my apartment, and I knew that there'd either be a message waiting for me within like 10 minutes because it was 7 a.m. here. Yeah. You'd be getting ready to work. And it would just be like, hey, good morning, love you. I'm off to work in a half hour. And I'd get up at 4 a.m. just so I could throw a few messages your way before you started your day.
So I'd go rub one out in the bathroom.
Easy.
Like Sunday morning. Ooh.
You know what? I'm not going to divulge the kind of imagery that you sent across the internet because it would be maybe like grounds for like some sort of federal charge.
I did a little.
Like Interpol might have to get involved with the kind of imagery you sent me.
I did a little tanscaping and sent
Is that
you some
what we
pictures.
call like Tanya-scaping?
You know what? It's like manscaping. I still do send you freaking things on the internet.
You do.
There are ways to keep things intimate. Intimacy, like I'm saying, is not just about like sex, but it's about other things like caring for each other. It's not just about penetration.
Whoa! We're just throwing the $10 million words out here. What? You jumped right to penetration. What?
It's a P word.
It's one of them.
Penetrate. What? You're Polish by penetration.
Okay. What are some of the other things that you're talking about keeping the fires going? That isn't just penetration.
But I mean, obviously being kind to each other, sending each other kind messages, doing little things for each other. Like, I'll do things like for you, like I'll order you your favorite coffee or something, or make it for you or something, or you'll do something like silly, like you'll have my favorite vegan cheesecake waiting for me and like a soda pop or something that I like.
Or randomly the Instacart shopper will somehow get flowers by mistake.
I'm like, there's flowers on our porch. What the hell? Someone sent flowers. Like, just little things. Like, there are ways to be intimate with each other, or like a little card, or a note on your, like, your shaving, where you're shaving, you know.
Like, you know, when you don't flush the toilet in the morning for me.
Totally.
and I return the favor later at lunchtime.
After I've eaten a whole pizza. Fuck you. No, but like I'll order you like a beard oil or something like that. Or you'll order me like some something to take care of my body with, some nice soaps or like anything, but like some things that are intimate and stuff like that too. Like you and I like to have like baths together and things like that, like bubble baths. Like there are other things you can do to keep yourselves like watching movies together and getting cuddled up on the couch.
I like to just like throughout the day, we're like passing each other, going out to different places. I like to come home and just give you a little kiss. Or grab your little bum. Here you go.
Yeah.
A little bum grab.
Touch each other. Like touch each other.
A little caress.
If you're going to argue with each other, don't argue with each other. Just dance instead. Because then you can't argue.
I when you start trying to argue with me, I just like to plant one on you.
The only way I'm going to shut this girl up is if I plant one on that mouth. I'm going to give her a big old kiss and shut her up.
Well, it's better to kiss than it is to argue.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you want to argue, dance. If you want to argue, kiss it out, because you won't be able to argue because that big fat, I know what that mouth do. And if it gives big fat kisses, it can't be arguing. It can't be calling shit, starting shit.
I also love kissing you, so that's good.
Well, I love kissing you too. Thank you for saying that. And sometimes, sometimes you keep the fires burning. You got to pull all the stops out till they call the cops out. You got to do things that are crazy. Like one of my personal favorite tricks, because I knew like you'd be coming home, and if you were going to have quarantine, and like when you did come home, I had to have energy. I had to be ready for you. I was like, oh God, I'm so excited that he's coming home. Oh my God, I'm so excited, like in a sexy way. I've been essentially a single parent. I'm so fucking tired. So I like got up at like 3 o'clock in the morning. This is a parenting hack. Or anyone who has kids, fucking like, you can do this with coffee, any beverage that is caffeinated. If you want to stay up for some fun, sexy time, or something you got to get up for really early in the morning, and you feel like you want to be crazier than your children when they wake up, or with a lot of energy really early, even if you don't have kids, get up at like 3 in the morning, set your alarm, drink a fucking Coke. Drink a Coke.
Preferably a glass bottle Mexican Coke.
Mexican Coke with cane sugar in it, real refresco. Fucking wait 15 minutes, swish your mouth, brush your teeth, go the fuck to sleep. When you wake up, you're going to be on crack. Like, you're just, wow!
And that's when you have a second one.
And that's when you have another one. And then you get your crazy sex on.
You were saying, like, you were so hyper that, like, the kids couldn't handle it.
And
our kids
funny.
are, like, the second they open their eyes, they're like, making noises nonstop.
Or, like, beating the shit out of each other. Like, they're like, ah!
Yeah, that too.
Well, they're, like, they're little. So they're, like, crazy. They're climbing all over each other or us or whatever. But, like, they were so annoyed by how, like, hyper I was. They're like, oh, my God, Mom. What's wrong with you? I'm like,
how about when I scared the bejeebus out of you when I did come home?
So I have to, like, come down the stairs. The kids are still sleeping. And, like, it was, like, later. They were still sleeping, which was weird. It was, like, 6:45. And they're usually up, like, at 6 or, like, 5 usually. But we had some sleepers. I walked down the stairs and you're standing there. And like literally I'm like, oh, I lost my breath. I felt like somebody punched me in the gut, like not in a bad way, but You
were just grumbling about something in the hallway, and I had walked in like 5 minutes ago, and I was like, do I go upstairs? Because everybody's quiet. I don't want to wake people up, and I'd got like my COVID negative result like late the night before, so I packed up early.
I was like, go to sleep when you see even if you get your results really, really late, I'm like, get some sleep.
You're gonna need it.
That's literally what I said.
For what I got in store for you.
Oh yeah, because seriously.
And then you came down the hallway, and I scared the bejeebus out of you. And once the kids were occupied, you helped me unpack.
I always help you unpack.
That's a euphemism.
Yeah, occupied with bed. I'm like, send them like, good night, guys. I love you. And they're like, love you. And I was like, let's unpack. Boom, boom. Bow, wow, wow. Chicka, chicka, bow, wow. Chicka, bow, wow, wow. All that Coca-Cola and, quarantine sex. What can I say? Like, what happened on, like, ships when, like, sailors and stuff had to quarantine? When they got back from that sea or war or whatever. I bet you that sex was crazy. Because I know what it's like when you get back from anywhere. That quarantine sex. God damn.
Oh my goodness.
So good. Parenting with Coca-Cola. Also, talking about parenting, we want to talk about... I was talking about Madonna complexes, and you didn't know what it was.
No.
And Madonna... It's something that like Elvis Presley apparently struggled with. He was obsessed with like virgins, which I call cherry pickers. Guys who just want to have sex with women, or men that just want to have sex with men, or women that just want to have sex with women, or people that want to have sex with people that are just virgins.
I don't see the appeal to that.
I don't know either. I don't see it either. But Elvis apparently had a Madonna complex. So as soon as a woman had a baby and he equated her like with being a mother, Madonna, he held his own mother in very high regard. He couldn't have sex with her anymore. So that's why he cheated on his wives so much, because apparently he had this like Madonna complex.
That's so strange.
I know.
I never heard of that. I've never heard of the Madonna
honestly,
complex.
like read up on it.
I think it would freak me out too much. Like there's just things like that bother me. Like I don't need to look into that.
I have a friend who runs an Instagram. It's called Misogyny in Music, and she's like actually looked into it. And I'm like, check out this. There's one book called Baby Let's Play House, and it's about Elvis and all his affairs, the women you knew about and the women you really didn't like. You and I have had conversations like before about like relationships and stuff like that, and like how it's great to play house. It's awesome. It's fun. It's like the never-ending honeymoon. You're like having sex all the time whenever you want. There's no schedule. Every day's a fucking Sunday. It's just great all the time. This was like this Elvis book, right? But like eventually like real life like kicks in, and there's like reality, right? So I mean there's still sex and all these other things that are going on, but there's jobs and stress and kids and pets and whatever. So essentially this book was about that, but you and I had been like talking about like playing house and how that's fun and everything, but like you still got to factor in like sex when real life kicks in.
Yeah. We got to prioritize it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You got to make time for it. Make it a big deal with your partner.
Absolutely.
Because I think it's an important part of every relationship, or should be.
Well, yeah, you have to be like close with each other, like to let
I will tell you this: a lot of the problems and like ruts we've got into from the daily grind, like taking its toll on us, seems to be like disappears by like 50% when we're able to be close and physical.
Oh yeah, when you press that button, boop.
No, not just when you press the button. When we find a way to have the time, and of course press those buttons. But
no, but when you take your parent hat off and you
when you can make that time for yourself, even though it feels like it's a tough thing to do, just slot it in there. I think it pays some great dividends.
Oh, absolutely. It does pay some great dividends. I mean, I know it does for me. I know it does for you as well.
I do have a question of the week for you too this time. Whenever you're ready for it.
You can ask me anytime. I mean, to like this week, like Saturday was World Beard Day. Yes. And obviously having to do with sex, everyone knows that I'm a Paganophile, and this actually has to do with beards, but not so much with sex. One of our friends runs a YouTube channel, and his Instagram is Socially Bearded, and he's always mixing. Mix. Our friend Mick, he's always doing on his Socially Bearded channel. He's mixing beard oils together, and he mixed different scents and things like that. And so the other night I was trying to make like a sexy bath for you. And so I was like thinking about this. I'm like, what can I mix together? I was like thinking of my bearded friends. What can I mix together in the bath to like make this smell really nice? So I mixed a few different bubble baths together like a fucking idiot. And like literally head to toe itching. Like horrible. And I can't take allergy pills.
But the nice thing about it was,
oh my God,
you're like itchy everywhere. You're like, I just need you to scratch me all over. It's like, you mean you want me to touch you all over? No problem.
I'm like, I just need to take off all my clothes. My body's a hive.
I guess that bath worked after all.
Oh my God. But no, this is my pagonophilia.
So I say, what's funny about your pagonophilia is my beard is fairly lengthy now.
It is.
We're hypothesizing, has it reached terminal length yet?
I don't know if it's gotten to terminal length yet, because it doesn't, I don't know.
But before it was like this, and this is a result mainly of COVID and just kind of just like being shuttered inside like a mushroom, I would keep it fairly trim.
Yes.
And it would grow, and then I would basically trim it all back even. And you'd be so angry like at me, like irrationally for like a week. Like you wouldn't even like want to look at me because my beard would be like,
nope.
Trimmer.
I'd be like, can you put on a paper beard and we can have sex? Like seriously.
It's just like irrational like reaction to like a trim beard. It is.
It's not a fucking irrational at all.
She doesn't love me for me, folks. She loves me for the beard.
You know what? We need atmosphere, and sometimes we need beard. And I need it.
You basically want to have sex with the beard, not the man. Is that it? Bang the beard?
I didn't say that. Fear the beard. Respect the beard.
You haven't denied it or declined the accusation.
I like a good beard ride. If I was going to go on a
Oh
carnival,
my
my
God.
favorite ride would be the beard ride.
Okay.
The vagina scrambler.
It's a shame I'm not taking you to the Western Fair this year.
The Western Fair's not even open this year, thanks coronavirus.
I'm just going to take you to the Beardatron tonight.
Oh, whatever. Oh my God, why don't you take me to a protest outside the hospital? Holy shit.
Well, that's not very sexy.
No, it's not. We got an idiot parade in London, Ontario. It's crazy. Those are things that are not sexy. Why don't you take me and do something sexy with me? I can think of about a million things.
Like twist my arm? Okay, I'll do it. Okay. No, not like twist my arm as part of an activity. Okay, stop. No, don't look at me like that. Yes, I will take you and we will... no. We will do something in the champagne room that is...
sexy.
And private.
First, I want to know what your question of the week is.
I had read something at some point in my life that your first sexual experience or introduction to sexuality plays a large role in your sexual life after that. Do you concur with this, or is that mumbo jumbo? Your first sexual interaction and engagement, exposure is supposed to play a huge role in your sex life.
Yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. I think so. For sure.
Well, mine was the weird cartoon diagrams, and I like cartoons, so I guess, yeah.
Well, my penis rolled away on me. I had to go catch it. So.
What? Your penis rolled away on you?
I told you the lady was like, oh, the penis rolled away on me on the felt doll.
Oh, the felt.
Like this fucking health nurse and her felt doll.
You've been chasing penis ever since.
I haven't chased. I'm like that. I'm trying to sue Nirvana, chasing that dollar. Just chasing dick. No, but seriously, like she was very open, and she just wanted to tell us all about sex. They took the girls in one room and the boys in another.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And they showed us a birthing video that was like very graphic, and all the girls were like, "Fuck, I don't want to have babies." I'm
That's
like,
so funny.
I already knew that's how it happened. Like, I knew what intercourse already was in grade 5. Like I knew what penis to vagina meant.
Oh my God, no, I didn't. I did not know any of that.
Shut up, really?
I think I told you this before. Like I had heard from like a 6th grader when I was in 3rd grade. Like if you want a girl to stop arguing with you, just push their little buzzer down there. And then like I heard from like a 5th grader, to make babies you got to pee in a girl's vagina.
Do you think a girl had to pee in her pants?
I don't know. I don't know what any of this means. This is just like,
pee in a girl's vagina.
Yeah, I'm like, why would you want to do that?
Don't. Just don't.
I just want to pee in a toilet. Why do I got to pee in someone?
I don't want to be your toilet.
I don't understand it. I'm like, where's it all go? Like when I pee, there's a lot of pee.
But that's exactly how a kid would think too. Like where would it go?
I don't know. That's
why I like sex ed. Now I'm glad that at least in schools and things things are better and kids are learning about gender. They're learning about sexuality. They're learning about better things and more appropriate talks.
We didn't even really learn about STDs.
Holy fuck, that makes a lot of sense.
I think we learned about AIDS.
Fucking Catholics.
I think we learned about AIDS and HIV.
That makes a lot of sense.
Because it was pretty prevalent too, right around there, the
huge. 80s was big for AIDS and HIV. Yeah, it was huge. That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, it could have been mentioned. I mean, there was discussion.
It could have been mentioned. We didn't
there was discussion, but I remember them talking specifically about condoms and prophylactics, and just be like, "This will stop you from getting AIDS."
Yeah, but the reason why
that's how it was kind of communicated.
They didn't talk to you about STDs because you're in Catholic school and they just wanted you to have abstinence. That's what was going to stop you from getting AIDS.
I don't
I
don't even remember a discussion on abstinence, to be honest.
Oh, we had tons of discussions on abstinence.
I bet.
What? I got high marks in my sex classes, even in high school. I
give you high marks too.
Thanks.
I'm recording your video, by the way.
Fucking sexual gymnast, bitch.
Yeah.
Chia. Seriously, why are you laughing? You're the one reaping all the benefits of my craziness. You love this.
I'm still. I haven't stopped squirming or blushing since this.
I know you're so red. It's fucking ridiculous. Oh my god.
You're just loving this right now. You'd like to make me squirm, don't you? You'd like to make me squirm.
I do like to make you squirm. There are other things that I like to make you do too, but
Oh my goodness.
no, but those are some funny stories. Like those are the funny stories, like finding Playboys in the woods, finding your parents' Joy of Sex book like under the bed, and like looking at like funny diagrams, or like
Recording the Playboy channel.
hilarious shit. Like recording the Playboy channel, finding like the Kama Sutra. Like I found a suitcase full of porn at my friend's parents' house and we watched it. You know what I mean? Like just silly stuff, like innocent. You know what I mean? But funny. Like sex is.
Oh my god.
Sex is hilarious.
Oh my god. I'm just thinking of other stupid stories now.
Why?
Oh my god.
Just give me one. Give me one stupid story.
This was like a so embarrassing, and this was like I was like in college when this happened, and I'm embarrassed to even think about it. Went to a friend's house, and there was another guy there, and a bunch of girls were gonna come over, and music, and other guys, like kind of like a party, but like more of like a get together soiree.
Yeah, okay, like a small.
And it was like the three of us at first, and the one guy's like, "Oh, we should just put a porn on and send the message to people right away." I'm like, "What message do you want to send?"
Sexual predators?
It's just like it's so embarrassing. Like I'm like who knows who's gonna come to the door next? Like what if it's like a couple of our dudes, like you know, our guy friends, they walk in, they see like porn on, like they're gonna be like, "What are you guys up to?"
Cool, rapey.
Like, it's just like so
Very
embarrassing.
rapey.
I'm like, I'm good. I'm like, I'm just gonna go outside and listen to Motley Crue. You can watch the porn. And it was like God, it was like an SLP extended like play, like with like complete like 70s style, like and I'm just like, I'll be outside for the remainder of this soiree.
Did the girls come?
I'm good. Yeah. And they did not stay inside. They went outside to listen to music and talk and have their cigarettes, and then that was that.
And they were probably like, then they left. They were probably like, wow, these guys are disgusting.
Well, it was like, how come you're not inside there? I'm like, I'm kind of good. I just want, to be outside. It's a little warm inside.
They're probably like, I'm outside for the same reason you are.
And it's just like,
sucks in there.
Yeah, it's just easier to talk out here.
Totally.
It's just
and it's just a bunch of guys watching
I've
porn.
always found porn awkward. It's just
not my...
I don't get it.
It's not my thing. I don't need to watch it.
It doesn't need to be a centerpiece or even a background crescendo.
It's just not for me. It's a lot of people's like thing. They love porn. It's what it does it for them. It's not one of my like turn-ons. I have a ton of turn-ons. Porn is not one of them.
I don't get it.
You know what's a turn-on for me? Monogamy. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, that's so nice.
It's great. And having a
so
life
nice
partner.
Not to worry about it.
Yeah. And like cheating, and I'm not worried about that. Like, it's just nice to have a life partner, someone you can just share your life with, and you have the same goals as, and the same dreams, and you're working towards the same thing.
It's just nice to
that
find
the
someone
yes.
and have the someone. Monogamy is cool.
No,
building that
cool.
sexual relationship with the same person and knowing that you're going to be with them. That's cool.
And that's what's going to lead to super orgasms and not faking it and having like the best time ever, being multi-orgasmic. It's going to lead to
just that comfort level.
Exactly.
My God.
Once you reach that comfort level with another person, it's...
I've told you before, I've never had the comfort level that I have with you. Like,
same.
The way that I can be vulnerable without question.
True. I've never had
it's really nice
partner that I can
with
be
you.
like that with. Yeah, it's true. I agree. I'm there too.
Good.
Which is nice.
Why are you smiling? You're getting all cuddly now on me.
No, maybe.
Should we go to the champagne room?
Yes, should we wrap it up? I'm like, no, I don't believe in those.
Just don't like meat, but you sure likes the bone.
I was like, no, practice safe sex if you're, you don't have one of those IUDs, or you don't have any birth control pills, you're not having sex with a regular partner. I am
or even if you're just on your own, living by yourself, practice safe
sex. Don't go fuck anything weird that can break off inside you. Just be careful. Use a dildo or a
not a cucumber or a zucchini.
Or like a squash or anything weird. No dick-shaped food. You just don't use anything weird and phallic. But I'm saying, I'm advocating safe sex here. The only reason I'm not advocating it for myself is because I'm in a monogamous relationship and
it's safe.
I have the birth control.
We've got the safe.
We do. I've got that goddamn fucking device. Still good for a few years until you get the snippity snip.
Whew.
Come on.
Nothing like a turn on like talking about vasectomies. Now I'm raring to go.
In 2 years, you have to get a vasectomy.
Yeah, but you just reminded me.
Sorry. I'll help you forget.
Okay.
All right. Well, you know what? Everyone knows where I'm hanging out every week. We got an Ask Me Anything coming up, and I'm actually going to be appearing on some other podcasts coming up too. Ask Me Anything is going to be live on a Saturday night. We're going to get that going on. So if you plan on being a dick, don't plan on showing up because we got mods going on in the house. You know where to find me. I'm on Twitter at Tanny Candler. I'm on my YouTube channel, always just at Tanny Candler channel. If you click subscribe, you can certainly get a notification to when all the podcasts come out. I'm on all your streaming platforms for your listening pleasure or displeasure, I guess, whatever you like. And you can find my crazy butt on Instagram at 21st Century Rocker Mom every single day doing God knows what. You find me. If you want to really see my craziness, you can check out my TikTok at 21st Century Rocker Mom. I love you. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful long weekend here in Canada. I'm sending maple syrup kisses your way from all the horny Canadian women. Bye, Rob.
Bye, honey.